Hello everybody, my name is Nazasthree, and welcome to this hour-long video about me doing something really stupid in Monster Hunter World. So over the past, I want to say month, I've been playing on a new character, and when I was doing my high rank stuff and fighting through the arc-tempered versions of each Elder Dragon, I thought, hey, let's try to solo these. So my inspiration was, okay, if I can solo Arc-Tempered Nergigante, I will do all of Master Rank, aka Iceborne story, with high rank gear. So that is what we're doing today. Well, talking about today. This is all like post commentary of my journey through Master Rank and Iceborne. The story of Iceborne with high rank gear. So sit back, grab some snacks, and enjoy as we go through Monster Hunter World Iceborne with high rank gear. Of course, any journey that starts in Iceborne has to start somewhere, and that starting somewhere is Beatotus. During this fight, he's pretty, you know, Beatotus, if you've ever fought him, he's just like a land shark. But, yeah, he's not all that difficult, it turns out, obviously. No carts, no nothing. Throughout this experience, I'm going to be totaling how many feints I have, how many missions that I fail, and those will be put on the screen for you to keep track of at home. For the majority of this playthrough, my armor skills and the build that I'm using is 3-piece Teostra Gamma with a mix between Lunastra Gamma and Lunastra Beta, which gives us the skills of Critical Eye 7, Earplugs 5, Weakness Exploit 3, Tool Specialist 3, Tremor Resist 2. Initially I started with Attack Boost 4, but that changes when I build the Health Boost Charm to replace that Attack Boost Charm that I have. And then Flinch Free 1. And because of the Lunastra Xeno Lance that I'm using, we get Razor Sharp / Spare Shot. As well as when my mantles get upgraded, I slot in 2 pips of Speed Eating in there. Also, with the origin sets of the armor, we get Master's Touch and Stamina Cap Up. Now that Beatotus is done, we are setting up camp at Celiana, and at this point, I decide to do all my 1-star optionals because I'm going to do every single quest, or as much as I can do. So this is going to be a rapid-fire montage of all the optional quests. All of the optional quests here are pretty self-explanatory. You kill the monster, hunt the monster, and I've chosen to capture every single monster that I fight, for the most part. I do end up taking a cart from this Baroth here, because I get stunned and then he chomps me. But after that, we hunt him no problem. After completing all of our optional quests that are available to us, we now move to do an expedition in the Hoarfrost region. I do think that this region is quite beautiful in like the early game areas. I think that like the snowy, more foresty areas are much more scenic and welcoming than the latter areas that are just like frozen cliffs. Of course, on this expedition, we meet our friend Banbaro. He's there. He's everywhere. It's Banbaro. And during this hunt, I forget that this is an expedition. So I'm just standing there and waiting for the quest to end, but there is no quest because it's an expedition. So after he's slain, I'm waiting around and I'm like, what am I doing? Oh, yeah. Okay. But instead of going back, I wait around and I'm like, oh yeah, here's Beatotus. He's cool. I like Beatotus. I'm like, oh sweet, Hilly, look, there he is, the boy, Beatotus. And then he starts getting mad, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, no, don't get mad at me. And then that's when it hit me. Oh yeah, I should probably go back to camp. Yeah, I should probably return from expedition. Once we return from expedition, obviously we're the main character, so the commander's like, hey, we need you. And I'm like, alright, I'm the most unserious hunter here. And then we go on another expedition. If you know the story, of course, we know that you got the Viper Toby. Good old Viper Toby. This Viper Toby fight goes pretty well. Literally I have no problems on this first one. Yeah, he hurts a lot, but I'm able to live and I'm able to capture him. But later on, Viper Tobys are gonna just totally destroy me. I don't know what happens between then and now, or like, I don't know what happens between that first one and the ones after, but maybe it's just a skill issue on my part. But that's okay. During this quest, our handler is like, oh yeah, I'm going to be not being your handler for a bit, which is okay. And then I go to do more optionals. I get steamrolled by Radabon, but we end up getting him in the end before our next assigned quest of Nightshade Palumu. Anytime that I'm fighting Nightshade Palumu, or if I'm fighting anything in the Rotten Vale, I will swap out decorations to have sleep resist or miasma resist. That's just a smart way to do it. I did make sleep charm, and I did not make the effluvia resist charm because I didn't have any Valhazak gems. But I chose to just put in the individual skills instead of removing my attack charm. And then after we capture our Nightshade Palumu, it is time for Coral Puki Puki. Overall, Puki Puki is a pretty fun fight. I think that his water jets are a little annoying for like how wide they can go, and sometimes their path is a little strange, but overall he's not too terrible. I think he's a lot more of an interesting fight than the regular version, for sure. But no carts, no issue. We end up capturing him, no problem. At this point, we're going to knock out some more optionals. Of course, he's there, he's everywhere. It's Banbaro. We fight a total of 4 of them throughout this playthrough. First one, so the second one carts me. This third one does not, and we're doing some more optionals, gathering stuff. Now we've got the Viper Toby, and he's gonna tail swipe me because that's just what he does. That tail swipe does a lot of damage, and when you're stunned and you're like, oh man, I can't do anything about it, yeah, you just get destroyed. Even though he took 2 carts, that Vipertopia is down. Now we're going for Anjanath. And a Rathian. And guess what? Another Rathian. And the Nightshade Palumu. Oh hey, it's another Anjanath. Guess what? Cap. Don't you just love hunting bugs? Oh, guess what? Nope, it's an Anjanath. One more Vipertopia down, and we are off to fight our boy Barioth. I should have recorded the cutscene more, but that's okay. These next fights, I feel, could have been my first like actual failed hunts. However, I think that I have a little bit of PTSD from my first playthrough because Barioth was a wall for me on that initial run through. I do think that I've definitely grown as a monster hunter and a player, and just understanding the way that these flying wyverns, quote unquote, operate really helps to, like, solidify that point, you know. Once Barioth is done, Velkhana shows up and it's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm a monster. Did you forget about me? I'm just on the, you know, the box art. So yeah, I'm gonna free some monsters and fly away." Of course, after this cutscene, we have to go and investigate the ancient forest, where we find the boy Nargacuga. And at this point, I'm as excited as the handler is to discover that Nargacuga is in the area because, yo, he my boy, it's Nargacuga! And, yeah, Nargacuga is great. Through this fight, Nargacuga does not cart me at all. I think that's quite uncharacteristically of me. Every single time that I've fought Nargacuga, he usually takes 1, if not 2, only because like that tail slam can really catch people out if you're not expecting it. And because I'm playing Lance, it's just like, oh yeah, you gotta stand still. So if you stand still and you're not guarding for 1 second, like, well, whap, you're just gone. Overall, Nargacuga is a really fun fight. And of course, after that, we have Glavenus. I feel like Glavenus is one of my weaker monsters, just in general. Every time that I fight Glavenus, it feels like his moves are kind of unpredictable. Maybe that's just a skill issue on my part. Probably definitely is. But I feel that, like, the way he moves and moves his tail, it's like, is he going to be winding it up for 3 hits? Is he going to be doing something else? I don't know. Definitely gets me a little scary. But overall, 1 cart to a Diablos, and we move on. Of course, returning back to Astera, we find that Velkhana is doing Velkhana stuff and freezing monsters. And she's getting a little uppity. Afterward, we go and fight our boy Tigrex. Tigrex is also another monster where I was super scared of because that roar and his ability to, like, tremor hunters who are not expecting it can be quite formidable. But, of course, having earplugs, you can just ignore half of his mechanics. Now we're doing more optionals. Here's some Rathians. And here's a Glavenus that I have no problems with. Next up, Diablos. And then Legiana. I get jebaited here by some Gajalakas, which is annoying, so I'm gonna pop smoke, and then I get, I'm sleepy. Why am I sleepy? Don't worry, those Gajalakas got what was coming to them afterward, but it surely was annoying. And with Legiana leaving, end up getting the capture. Next up, Brachydios. Oh, man. Brachydios is another one of those monsters where I'm like, I really didn't want to fight this guy. He was another one of those like monsters where I thought I was gonna fail, like get a quest failed. Really, this fight wasn't too bad. I just actually took my time. And he did not give me any single issues on this quest, but every single time that I did fight him afterward, I did get one cart. Afterwards, we need to go repel Velkhana, so we head back to the Elder's Recess. We have a sentimental moment with our handler before getting blasted by ice. That blasting of ice gets me one cart. Back to camp I go. Now from this point on, most of the story quests I'm going to show are going to be a little lengthier. Especially with Elder Dragons, because I feel if you're able to see how much damage that they're actually doing to me, you'll understand why this is something that like really tested me as a player. After that repel mission, we go back to Hoarfrost Reach and have to go fight Shrieking Legiana. Earplugs means no shrieking, which means easy cap. Our next assigned quest is a full Garanjanath. Oddly enough, he doesn't have an intro cutscene. So I just walked in and I was like, okay, I guess I'll just get the mount. And then he ends up giving me one cart before I cap him. And then we move on from there. At this point, I've already swapped to the health boost charm from the attack charm. As well, after this point, I switch my cat to the flashfly cage so that we can get more traps down. That way we keep monsters immobilized for longer. And of course, it wouldn't be a Rathian quest if we didn't get a cart. Oh, let's make that two because of a stun. And of course, trying to fight Lavasiath, guess who shows up? It's Azure Rathalos. He takes a cart. Now we capture Lavasiath. Head over to do the Uragon quest, and he rolls over me. And as a flaming wheel, he gets captured. Now's the duo Raging Brachy Uragon quest. I totally get smashed. But we get the cap on the Brachydios before we head over to Uragon. Thankfully, no second faint on this quest. This was another quest that I thought was going to be difficult. Now we've got some co-op shenanigans coming up. So, I'm just gonna say this upright. Like, if you think that having done these optional quests in a co-op invalidates this challenge that I'm doing by doing it all in high rank gear, then I don't know what to say other than like that's your own opinion, man. It definitely like didn't lessen any of the danger. Yeah, it just sped up the quests, and it's not like I was a hindrance. There was no point where I was gonna cause us to have 3 faints, even in my high rank gear. But I do get carded every once in a while. The only time that a person joined for an assigned quest was Namiel later on. I'd be willing to do the optional quest for that one, just to say, like, yeah, I could do the fight, but, like, by that time that someone joined, it was, like, I had already done almost half of her health by myself with no faints. So me taking a cart as she was dying literally does not matter, really. And then, of course, we have to do the quests that I do by myself, like delivering eggs. This one's a capture Fograngenath quest that he just teams up with Tigrex, which is big sad. But we get the capture anyways. I don't know how that chomp killed me because I had temporal on, but it is what it is. As well, if you see me throw on a mantle and you're like, oh, where's the mantle effects? It's because I have the invisible mantles mod on. The only mods that I have installed are the icons, invisible mantles, and skip cutscenes. It just speeds up the game and gives more visual flair. At this point, the next assigned quest is to fight Acidic Glavenus. Acidic Glavenus is one of those fights where I'm like, oh no, it's Glavenus. And he's a variant. Oh no. And that defense down kind of really doesn't matter when you get one shot by everything. But it is a little inconvenient when you just don't know their moveset. So, besides that one cart on this quest, we cap him no problem. Later on, there's going to be an optional where he just destroys me. Now we move on to Ebony Odogaron. I feel that Odogaron is one of those monsters where, like, if you move 1 pixel to the right, to the left, he might hit you, he might not, and it's kind of like a gamble on if he does, so it keeps things spicy. During this fight, he definitely gets me. There's 1 cart down, but after that, we cap him. Next up is the defensive Saliana. Of course, we gotta protect the barricade. This is like the first real test of like how difficult is this fight gonna be, and understanding how much damage that the monster does to you in whatever gear you have at the moment. I think that this could be another wall for a lot of people. I think it is. Historically speaking, from like SOSs that I've participated in, it feels like Barioth and this defensive Celiana are walls for people, but after 1 feint, no issues. After defending Celiana and repelling Velkhana, we move to more optional quests. The Duo Legiana quest, where we capture a Streaking and then a regular. At this point, I swapped out energy drinks for dash juice, because I feel having the stamina regen while I'm guarding would be a lot more beneficial. Now we're at that point of the game where people are going to start joining more frequently. It feels like halfway through master rank, more people are more willing to join a quest for stuff rather than in the first half. So these next few quests are with randoms in the lobby, which at this point I've resigned myself to, like, yeah, it is what it is. If it's an optional, I really don't care, because I've clearly proven that, like, I can do these fights solo by myself. It just speeds things up. I do take one cart from Renault Garon, which, again, he's kind of random. Now, this Diablo's quest, he gets a card off of me here, but a random joins, and then he gets a card off of him, which is, like, wacky. Like, the dude's in full Fatalis gear. Like, he should not be getting carded. But we end up getting the no fails anyway. Next up is Ebony Odegaron in the arena. No issues here. And back to Black Diablos. No issues there as well. Now at this point we do Acidic Lavinus by myself. And I run out of stamina and I get the first feint. And then I get caught on the wall. And the second feint. This is a quest where those feints happen really fast to where it could have been a game over if I had played it very poorly. But we get the capture and we move on. Now is the big dog time of Velkhana. The actual slave Velkhana quest. And as I said, I don't know, like 10 minutes ago, the point that we are at now is like all Elder Dragons or Elder adjacents. So we're going to see more of the fights. So there's more like actual context to, oh yeah, this is what it looks like fighting this monster in high rank gear. If you'd like to see any fight throughout this video on an individual basis, please let me know and I will upload those. But as it stands, I will not do that unless requested. So after the majority of the fight's already been over with, we move up to the last area, and oh boy does she hurt. I didn't know that you could augment your high rank armor to remove the cap to put the limit to 90 defense instead of 78. So here I am at 78 defense per piece, except for on the beta set of Lunastra, because that goes to 72, I think. And oh boy, did it hurt. That ice attack doing half of my health was insane. As well, before this quest, like much before this quest, I did the augment for this weapon to give myself the health regeneration, which helped out a ton. Holy crap. Health boost, health regen, so good. After we slay Velkhana, our handler's like, there must be more to this. So we go back to the Eldritch Recess, and guess who it is? It's the B-52 bomber! I mean, Seething Basil Goose. Yep, it's Seething Basil Goose. There's something wrong with this Seething Basil Goose because, like, there was something wrong with this Seething Basil Goose because he was very, I don't know, he was, like, just standing still a lot of the time. He was, like, perpetually tired. He does end up taking a cart from me and really making this fight last a little longer, but he was not active as much as he normally is whenever I'm like on my normal account, yeah? And I don't know, it was very weird. But we capture him, and we move on. Next up, I decided to get all of my Palico gadgets. I really wanted to put off doing Black Veil Valhazak, so I was like, you know what? I need to complete the rest of my optional quests anyway, so I might as well get the Boa Boa optional quest done. That optional Beatotus to round out the list. So I go and I get all the Grimalkine logistics, all the doodles, as well as the Myalotov cocktail. And we do the Beatotus Boa Boa quest. I love seeing the little harpoons, and they're just like tossing them at the monsters. I don't know what it is they have against a Beatotus, but whatever it is, free materials, and the Tail Raider signal. And of course they give us this quest to kill a tempered Beatotus, but I capture him instead. Next up is the optional for Seething Basil Goose. This is more like what he should be, more aggressive, more in your face. He carts me with the exploding tomatoes. Now, after putting it off for too long, it's Black Veil Valhazak. This monster is like one of those monsters that everybody just hates. Me included. The effluvia and the pressure between the effluvia and the pressure of the blasts are so annoying. Any other monster, you could latch onto their face while they're doing like a fire breath. But him, if he's doing anything, you literally cannot latch onto him. Which is really wacky. As well, when he like takes any step, it flinches you. So it's like, oh man, I gotta watch out for him stepping with them toesies. Like, okay, very well. Here I think I'm safe because, yeah, rock steady, baby. Nope, it's cart steady time. And back to camp I go. Much later in the fight, he goes down with only that one cart, which was surprising to me. Now, oh boy, I'm trying to prepare myself to do the optional quest for Kieran. And at this point, I'm like, oh man, I need to put in these resistances and Gobbler. Got my Thunderproof Mantle, I should be fine. Like, alright, sweet, let's go. And then we get into the fight, and everything that Kieran does hurts. Thunder hurts. You step in one spot just barely the wrong way, and you get kicked in the face like that. Then you get stunned and zapped by lightning. You latch on to the face the wrong way, you get zapped by lightning. You do anything the wrong way, you get zapped by lightning, and you get stunned. Even if you have Thunderproof Mantle on. I tried my best to, like, play this as smartly as possible, but I'm just getting absolutely dumpstered and thundered and stunned. Eventually it results in 2 carts, and now we're in our last stages. This is it. It's do or die. Everything Kieran does is hurt so much. I'm like, okay, I need to just really play this safe. I need to play this smart. My cat is basically useless because of the traps, because of the flash fly. So I'm having to basically solo this. No real carry happening here. And no matter what, It's like so much damage. Zap. It's done. I'm like, alright, I got this. I'll live. Then sprints at me. There's my first failed quest. Master rank Kieran. So, we reevaluate our skills. Guess what? It's time for stun resist, screw footing. It's time to be unstunnable. And then I switch my Palico back to Shield Spire because Shield Spire is OP. I could have had my cat on the Coral Horn, but that wasn't leveled up at all. I still haven't leveled that up. This fight feels like it's going better, only because of like that stun resist and having access to Shield Spire Stooge, but it still hurts when I get hit by anything. A couple lightning blasts, and there goes the first cart. Next up, I'm trying to take my time, but really I get greedy with Clutch Claw. I get greedy with a lot of stuff. I see that icon change to yellow, and I'm like, oh hey, guess what we can do? And then Monkey Brain gets activated. Yeah, you cannot have Monkey Brain with Kieran. It's basically a death sentence at that point. So I'm trying to play smart, I'm trying to be careful. I'm like, okay, now's the time. Got Temporal on, and I'm dead. I don't know why some attacks go through Temporal and some don't, but it's super annoying. Overall, even though Kieran took 5 carts of me, I do end up clutching it out and getting the W. Thank God I don't have to do this fight ever again in high rank gear. No, you cannot make me. I will not do it. Next up, I try to prepare myself for Kushala. At this point, the video does not have any audio. I don't know what happened with my recording, but I will be putting in the fight themes of each monster on loop during their fights. So in order to prepare for a master rank Kushala, I decide to go and hunt some Arc-Tempered Kushala. Arc-Tempered Kushala takes 1 cart. I'm not counting that towards the total of carts because it's a high rank monster and not a master rank monster. I create a 3-piece Kushala, 1-piece Draken, and Teostra armor to create a set of Nullify Wind Pressure armor with earplugs, critical eye, handicraft, health boost, and a little bit of evade window. Overall, I think this build is perfectly fine for fighting Kushala. I think my problem is that Kushala is just a bit bullshit sometimes. Sorry for my language, but I really do think that Kushala has some really weird attacks, especially the wind pressure stuff. Like that tornado just hurts me out of nowhere. That tornado does not do that in Arc-Tempered. I think... Oh, maybe I'm wrong about that, you know? But anyway, Kushala does some stupid blasts, and those tornadoes get me, and then I end up getting Kushala up to this top part of the map, and I'm like, alright, I got this. Kushala's gonna get flooded. Nope, no, she's not. So I'm like, alright, it's time to shine. Time to end this once and for all and move on. And of course, all good things must come to an end, even though she's on her last legs. I have 5 minutes left, and I'm like, no worries. She pushes me aside, I step in the wrong direction, and her toesies get me. And that's my second failed quest. Don't worry, we run it back. Now this time it's in the Elder's Recess. And this quest goes a lot better than that first one. I think that the Ancient Forest for Kushala is really stupid because of just how tightly spaced the Ancient Forest is. It's the worst monster to have on that map. And you wouldn't believe this card if I told you, so here it is. I go back to camp after the fight is like moving around the map, and I'm like, all right, sweet, let's gear up, let's get some materials back. I step out, and I'm like, all right, this will be easy. Grab some honey, get up the vines, walk around the ledge, and the next thing you know, instantly get carded. Yep, Master Rank Kushala, everybody. I love Kushala, you love Kushala, we love Kushala. Now, I got a little greedy there, I'll admit, but that's okay. The fight progresses up to the summit where Kushala is about to die, and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of tornadoes, let me just, run around, pick a spot that doesn't have any. I'm like, alright, hunker down. Okay, I think that tornado's a little close, so I'm like, you know what, maybe, let's not deal with that. So I go up the vines. Kushala's like, okay, guess what? Lands on me. Alright, well, two carts down, back to the top. And I'm like, okay, let me grab something. Grab the old crystal bursto. Throw on a mantle. Because I'm like, I don't want Kushala to knock me over. And I send her off the edge. Thankfully, that tornado goes away that instant. If that tornado was still there and I was still in this fight, I think that would be like game over. And that would have been another failed quest. But, oh boy, am I glad to not have to fight Kushala again. Next, we go to Master Rank Teostra. I think that Teostra is a wonderful fight. And even though the explosions can be bullshit sometimes and the fire... volcano, whatever he does, this big blast here is quite annoying to deal with. I think that, like, overall he's a better fight than Kushala, definitely. Of course, I take Fireproof Mantle and I think that it's gonna, like, invalidate his fight like it does in high rank, but it doesn't. Because I'm in high rank gear. So I get cocky while I have Fireproof Mantle on, and I'm like, okay, I can just, tank it. Nope. There goes another quest. Failed. Oh boy. So we run it back again. This time he's in the Elder's Recess. There's a Devil Joe. He's stompy. I die. Back again. Instantly get vaporized by the blast. But we get him down to the final arena, and we're just going to let this one play out. Now that he's asleep, we just, like, wake him up. We're like, hey, we're here, Blast Blighted. I just ignore it because I'm in Temporal, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use Temporal to the maximum effectiveness that I can right now. Ultimately, we end up getting the W, but man, was it close. I felt like it was the edge of my seat, and it could have gone the other way in an instant. If one more Volcano Blast, like, came in at the wrong time, I would have failed this quest. Like, that's just simple how it is. But we clutch it out, and we get the win, even though we take the Volcano Blast. Next up is Namiel. I went and re-recorded the cutscene for Namiel and for Shara Ishvalda and the credits cutscene, so you're welcome. I think that Namiel is a interesting fight. I like the title mechanics. I like the use of electricity with the wave as well. I think she telegraphs her attacks pretty well. and overall it's a fair fight. It's at least very honest. It tells you what it is from the get-go, and that leads into the strength of like how good Elder Dragon fights can be in the series. I feel the same way with like Apex monsters and Wilds, is that like Rei Dao is such a very honest and upfront fight to where there's a clear like balance of power, and understanding that as a hunter is like key to success. And I think Namielle has some of those mechanics built into her fight as well. Again, this is the one assigned quest that someone joins for, and at this point she's at like half health and hasn't carded me, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing well, you know what, that's okay, I'll just accept that this guy joined this quest and move on. I was contemplating doing this quest again, doing at least the optional quest version to be like, hey, for sure I can do this fight. But I mean, like, it's pretty self-explanatory if you're watching the footage that like I understand timings and windows of power for monsters and where to stand and where not to stand. The only part that happens is here near the end, where I'm just in an awkward spot, and I probably should have guarded instead of sheathing, but that's a understanding the weapon thing, and like comes with experience. Overall, we get the W, we get the win. And but before we do, I snap the tail. Next up, we move to the land of origin for Ruiner Nergigante. I think that Nergigante is a very well designed fight as well. I think that in mastering specifically, they didn't do enough to make him stand out versus regular Nergigante. Two words come to mind with Ruiner, and that's wasted potential. I think that like adding Bleed Blight to him is not enough to differentiate how his fight could have been. You know, he's not as powerful as he could have been. He didn't get any new big moves. Then yeah, he hurts, but also Arc Temper Nergigante hurts as well. So there's no real difference there. It just feels like a different skin color for Nergigante. Like, oh hey, I bought this chroma, you know, and literally I have no issues with Nergigante on this at all. And maybe that's because I tortured myself with Arc Temper Nergigante and like learning that fight with Lance to where it invalidates Ruiner. But every experience that I've had with Ruiner Nergigante has always been the same. Now with Ruiner Nergigante dead, we move on to the final monster of Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, and that is Shara Ishvalda. Hey, guess what? He a big rock. He a big rock, indeed. I love that he's like a weird nervous system monster that's like a sonic, singing, clutch, clinging, mosh banging amalgamation of whatever he is. Yeah, he has like a really cool concept, but I think that like having literally 2/3 of the fight be this rock form is kind of annoying because it really doesn't play into his strengths at all. I think the rock form is unique and helps distinguish himself from other monsters, but he needed to be like more aggressive in unsheathed mode. That's the best way I'm gonna say it. Unsheathed mode, and he needed to be a little more, I don't know, able to move around. I think his immobility is of detriment to like Monster Hunter monster designs, because like the bigger the monster is, it's just like hard to hit them and hard to get them to do fast big attacks that seem, you know, not out of place. After, I don't know, it's quite different. Either way, with that being said, I do think that this experience in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and having completed the story and all but 2 optional quests, the only 2 optional quests that I didn't do were the Ancient Forest Kushala and the Wildspire Teostra, because they weren't available when I went to go fight Shar Ishvalda. After I failed them the first time, they only gave me the Elder's Recess ones instead of the locale specific. So I was like, okay, I'll just count them as not completed, which the game also counts them as not completed. So yeah, we'll just accept that. I did do them afterward, not recorded, of course, because I've already killed them. You know, I've already slain them, and what's the point of seeing me do it again? No, like, in all seriousness, like, I do think that this really proved that, like, understanding the game's mechanics and going through and challenging yourselves has merit. I don't think that high rank only gear was ball-crushingly difficult as it could have been. I think that I had to be a little more smart with how I played and was punished more greatly for it. But in the meantime, it made those victories feel so much more rewarding than if I optimized my build for just survivability, you know? I think actually having a good build, a good, well-rounded, comfortable build helped me understand more of the game as a whole. And yeah, I think that these experiences are valuable, and I think that maybe you shouldn't do this, but if you want to, go ahead. I think it could teach you something about yourself that you don't know, and yeah, just understanding those fights and knowing how to like put the pieces of the puzzle together really helps you become a better hunter and a better gamer in general, or like more critical thinking of your actions and why you're doing what you're doing, you know? Maybe I'm reading into it a little more than I should be, but I had a bunch of fun doing this. I did not look forward to a lot of quests, but overall it wasn't that bad. And after everything was said and done, when I completed the story, it was 41 hours up until this final cutscene. And then, of course, I spent another couple hours after that. I went to the Guiding Lands, I did some optional quests, so we ended up with a total time of something around 52 hours total. I was at 81 hours when I left for Iceborne, and we ended at an hour 25 at the end of it. That was 47 carts in total. And, of course, we failed 3 quests. But those were all Elder Dragons. I think that was to be expected. At some point, I was going to fail a quest. It just so happened to be that it was Kieran who took the first one. It was either going to be Kieran or Kushala, so it is what it is at that point. Anyways, I will leave you guys with the outro credits as we wrap this up. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, if you guys want to see any of these fights individually on their own, please let me know. I still have 607 gigabytes of footage, that I don't know what to do with. It's gonna live somewhere, and yeah. Hope you guys had a great time watching this, and thank you so much for your time. Nazasthree out.